Hi, so we're going to start off like this. We're going to ask you guys what you expect from the session. Then we're going to give you a brief walkthrough of what Consult is. And after that, we can probably walk you through the prep timelines and that will do. So you can ask us generic questions after that. So let's start with Gen Fundies. So basically Consult, what we're talking about in Insti Consult is specifically strategic consulting, and the role that we're looking at is client facing. So when I say client facing, essentially what it means is you will be interacting directly with the client. So the reason I brought this distinction in is because when you have consulting firms coming on campus, they actually give you both client-facing roles and back-end roles. So back-end roles are what KPMG, Make Global, I think it's called something like that. Yeah, whatever. So Make comes for another profile as well. That's the analytic profile. Yeah, knowledge center. So essentially, that's kind of why I brought this distinction in. The key difference is now that you have this kind of consulting job that you're looking at, the kind of preparation that you're going to put in also differs quite a bit. So, yeah, I don't know. So what do you guys expect from the session overall? So, be free. So let's start with Kranti. Say something. So we're going to write it on the board. So essentially the plan is that you guys tell us what you want. We're going to list them down on the board. We're going to start answering them one by one. What does a regular consulting company expect from one person? We're going to then split up into different groups. So Optus, BCG, and Roland Berger. Okay. Next up. Okay. So what do they look for? So prioritization in terms of spikes. So let's rephrase that as resume making. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's also add why consulting in the standard questions. So why consulting in general? What are the perks, etc. What else?
Do you all know which all companies are coming down for consult in placements? So basically the companies that came down last time were BCG, Optus, Roland Berger, Dalberg, and McKinsey. They slightly came off campus. So any other questions that you all have? Because that will give us an idea of what you all expect.
Preparation for
Prep time.
What is the thought of what is concerned?
What is everyone concerned, sir?
No. That's big because we have to answer what answer was. We try to answer the question.
I think each of us is going to give a different answer to that.
What? Why?
Okay, so my take on what consult is basically you being hired to work on a little project, and it's basically doing a lot of interns with a lot of different companies. So the kind of project that you're going to pick up will essentially last between 3 to 9 months, depending on the company that you're in and the type of case you're in. And what you're supposed to be doing is assisting a team of consultants in doing what they're doing. So that's what you're being hired for. So at a higher level, what a consulting team actually does is it takes up a business problem, tries to give a actionable solution. So there are different types of problems that these people are asked to solve. So one type of problem could be, the way I'm approaching this is you have along different stages of implementation. So the first part of it is ideation and the end of it is operations. So it moves from strategy to operations. So there are like different parts of the line that you have projects in. So, and in addition to this, you also have different verticals that these projects are in based on the industries that they're in. So, from each of these blocks, you get a problem statement. So, one of them could be how do you want to, so say a company wants to have a 5-year plan for expansion. So, that could be one problem that a consulting team is assigned to work on. Another problem could be something like in terms of warehouse management. So, say a company wants to decide where to put its warehouses or something like that. So essentially, that's a problem that they have to solve. So there's a hierarchy of people who are working on it from the same company. What you are hired as is the lowest level resource. So what you're supposed to do is assess the team in different aspects of getting it through. So the kind of skills, maybe you could write that down, the kind of skill set that they're expecting in terms of technical things, like what all you'll have to do. So things that you'll have to do would be in terms of creating Excel models, creating decks, going and talking to a lot of people on ground, trying to figure out their expectations. So that's essentially what you do inside consulting. So this is where you are as a cog in the machine, this is what the machine is supposed to do.
Does that clarify something?
At all, yeah.
Is he going too fast?
There's me and
Any doubts?
What? Tech is basically a PPT. So essentially, a lot of your work is to think about something, come up with a model to explain it, and communicate it through a PPT. So a PPT is also called a tech. Not really, you don't have to prep for a software as such, but essentially you will be using a lot of Excel, a lot of PowerPoint. That's it, nothing major. Consulting companies or? So I think we can speak for the consulting companies that are coming already on campus. Essentially they're going to hire you simply because you're smart. Like in a nutshell, that's the only reason they're hiring you. Because you're smart and you're someone who can be put in front of a company and you have the kind of credentials that will make for good talking points. That's essentially why they're hiring you. So the kind of things they expect from you will more or less be the same across all of them. But as you start growing, each company will probably have its own niche, which makes one company more attractive than another. Like say McKinsey might have a presence in one kind of vertical more than another company. So later on, maybe all these factors might be a differentiating factor. But right now they don't. Right now everyone's kind of like a standard base.
For now, you don't have to worry about anything else. Right now, just think that it's a case study. It's a standard method for everything. Every company has a case study. You just have to prepare for that. You don't have to have anything else than case study or HR. So don't have to worry about a lot of things. So we can start. Why consulting?
Wait, did you guys understand what is consulting? Any? Huh? Perspective, okay, it's kind of like counsel. You give advice to your friend, right? So this is very similar. You hear other people's problems and you give advice. And, yeah, okay, we don't need a So fine, so that's broadly what consulting is. So anyway, I'll just give you like a quick bullet point list of what you will need once you go back to your room. So Google Management Consulting, that's the type of consulting that these profiles are talking about. There's a lot of other type of consulting. BCG, McKinsey, Bain, Octus, Alborg, all these companies are into management consulting. Roland Berger, all these companies are into management consulting. So that's the type of consulting you need to Google. And apart from that, as I said, perspective-wise, it's just advice on different types of problems. Profitability, market entry, these are fairly simple terms, right? So these sort of problems companies will have and they'll hire you to give them advice on how to go about doing project X if you want to enter market in China or you want to increase the profitability of something, you give them advice. So that's consulting broadly. So, okay, let's move on to why. So why is the most interesting part, obviously, I think, of consulting. So there are two reasons. Firstly, you heard what consulting is. So if it sounds interesting, then of course, get into it and see if you like doing it. There are reasons to do it beyond just wanting to do the job at hand. So maybe you don't want to get into management consulting in the long run. It's still a very attractive career. And that is because of the kind of career capital it gives you. So that's a bit of jargon, I'll explain. What is career capital? You get into a career, you're doing something, you're making an impact somewhere. Now you might want to make an impact in any sphere, let it be renewable energy or manufacturing, automobiles, anything. But your career is not only the impact that you're making. Your career has a lot of other facets. So for example, your job will also give you a certain network of people. And what you can do in life depends so much more on network than on any other factor, that having a good network is extremely important to being successful. Then there is also the kind of skills that you learn. So you pick up certain types of skills while consulting, communication being one of them. All of us are talking a little better than we used to last year, and that is because we are in this, we prepped for this line. So communication is another such skill. So these kind of things, skills, networks, you pick these up in just a couple of years in a consulting firm. And later you can use these things to make a much larger impact in whatever sphere you want to enter later. So that is the second huge reason apart from the first one, which is if you like management consulting in itself. The second reason is this sort of career capital. You should also want to do the job for this. How people add to that?
So he's covered the main reasons. So let me just break it down to this, okay? A, it's a platform because one of the attractive points for many of us about consulting was that once you enter it, you will be working on problems which are quite large scale, which it's rare to work on this early in your career. So that was one attractive point for us. So beyond it being a platform, it's also like a trampoline. That's what consulting is known for. For a first job, it really pushes you up really fast. In 2 years, a lot of people then branch out to any other industry, or they branch out to higher studies in management, finance, anything. So startups also. A lot of people do their own startups, they join really attractive startups. So those two things, I think, are really what a lot of us were attracted by. The fact that it's a platform and it's a trampoline. Other than that, there are...
So adding on to that, essentially it's low risk. Like say you get into a regular job and you realize that you don't like it, your exit options aren't as good as what you might find in consulting. Simply because these programs are structured for almost 2 years, 2.5. No one stays there longer.
One more thing that's important in consult is that the variety you get while working in this, because basically you can be working in various sectors throughout your tenure. You can be maybe for your first 4 months working in, say, hotel management. Your next assignment might be in finance.